What if one solution could cut your bills, make homes warmer, reduce air pollution, improve energy security, and cut carbon emissions at the same time? It already exists. It's called energy efficiency, and it might be the most underrated solution to climate change. Most people assume renewable energy has done the heavy lifting on solving climate change. But over the last 50 years, energy efficiency has actually saved far more carbon emissions. In this video, we'll be looking at how astonishingly effective energy efficiency is, and question why it doesn't seem to get the attention it deserves. Professor Nick Eyre has spent decades researching energy efficiency.
People generally underestimate the importance of energy efficiency, that it's invisible, you can't really see efficiency being improved, but energy efficiency has been the dominant source of carbon emissions reduction.
The numbers are honestly pretty surprising. Since 1970, the world economy has become 40% more energy efficient. By contrast, the switch to cleaner fuels, which includes renewables, has improved by just 7%. In other words, energy efficiency has saved 5 times more carbon emissions than switching to cleaner energy sources.
Had these big impacts on the amount of energy that we use. It's allowed us to grow our economy while using less energy. It's had a big impact on climate change. But there's more to do. We could have done more.
At its core, energy efficiency is really about one thing: waste. Efficiency sounds rather a technical term, but another way to think of it is to ask, just how much are we needlessly throwing away?
I think the important message is about waste. People know about solid waste because they put their bins out on a Thursday evening. Energy waste is harder to see because you don't see the energy coming through your electricity socket or through your gas pipe, but it is still waste.
The classic example of energy efficiency is the switch from incandescent light bulbs to LED lighting. Incandescent light bulbs are incredibly inefficient. To get 1 unit of useful light energy, an old-fashioned light bulb used 40 units of electricity. But even that's not the whole story. We can chase this up the chain. We lose a bit more energy distributing that electricity. And burning fuel in a thermal power plant is only 30 to 40% efficient, adding another massive source of waste into the chain. Include the energy used for mining, and you end up needing 106 units of fuel to produce 1 unit of useful light. And similar inefficiencies apply to all other uses of energy in the system.
Globally, nationally, locally, whatever scale you look at, the energy system is pretty wasteful. The best estimates globally are that about 2/3 of the energy that goes into the energy system gets wasted. That's quite a big amount of waste. If we threw away 2/3 of our food, people would be thinking that was pretty shocking. Well, that's what we're doing with energy.
But look what happens when you make something more efficient. LED lighting is much more efficient than the old incandescent light bulbs. Now to get 1 unit of useful light only needs 5 units of electricity. Chase this up the chain and you only need to dig up 13 units of fuel. So by switching to an LED bulb, you can stop 93 units of fuel being dug up for every unit of useful light that you use. That's the incredible impact of more efficient end-use devices. And in the fight against climate change, that's a really useful lever to have. Energy efficiency isn't done yet though. Looking forward, it can help save even more energy and carbon.
Generally, the role for energy efficiency that's envisaged is continued improvement. We've made significant gains, but we're still very far from what is technically and economically possible. And there's going to be more technology improvement and more potential for energy efficiency.
And every major decarbonisation scenario tells the same story. Overall energy use stabilises or comes down in the years to come, despite increases in living standards. That's energy efficiency at work.
Roughly speaking, most scenarios show that it's 50% renewables, 50% energy efficiency going forward, that we can't supply enough renewables to decarbonise the world without hugely improving our energy efficiency.
Who wouldn't want to have lower bills, more comfort, and a healthier environment? It goes without saying that using less energy saves you money. And that can be equally great at an individual scale or at the scale of whole economies.
Generally speaking, investment in energy efficiency is cost effective. We do need to spend money on it, but we get that money back in the form of saved energy. So at the individual level, it plays out in terms of reduced bills. Another word for efficiency is productivity. People generally are thinking about labour productivity, but energy productivity, resource productivity more generally, are also key parts of the productivity of our economy and things that we have improved significantly.
But above and beyond saving money, there's also a huge range of co-benefits of energy efficiency. Delivering efficiency improvements creates jobs. More efficient homes are warmer and more comfortable. Less damp and mould reduces cases of respiratory disease. More efficient cars emit less pollution. Local air quality improves and asthma cases go down. And more efficient computing is lighter and allows us to be flexible about where we work.
Energy efficiency helps with quality of life across all these areas. It's part of how an efficient and well-run society should be operating.
What makes energy efficiency unusual is that it solves multiple problems at once and without any trade-offs.
I think energy efficiency comes as close as anything to being a silver bullet for addressing climate change.
If you wanted to reduce energy use, you could add a tax to put up the price. That would reduce demand, but it would be terrible for the poorest in society. So you'd then need to do something else to address the inequality caused by introducing the tax in the first place. Energy efficiency, on the other hand, reduces energy use, reduces CO2, and helps affordable warmth and equity. Not only that, it makes the economy stronger and addresses all aspects of energy security. And it does them all at the same time. It would be easy to feel overwhelmed by attempting to improve the efficiency of everything. But there's a couple of good news stories that make it easier than we might fear. First, focusing on a few key problems actually gets us most of the way there.
There are a number of processes and activities where if we can improve the efficiency in say maybe 10 of those, we'll get most of the energy efficiency benefits that we're looking for. Cars, vans, lorries, aircraft in transportation, heating, cooling, lighting, cooking in buildings, and steel making, cement making, chemicals in industries.
But there's a second clever trick. In many cases, the solution is surprisingly simple. You just switch to electricity. But how does this work?
In a word, the answer is thermodynamics, which many people don't fully understand. But in essence, we can use electricity more efficiently than we can use heat.
Electric vehicles are 3 to 4 times more efficient than the same car with a petrol or diesel engine. And that's purely because an electric motor is more efficient than an internal combustion engine. Similarly, heat pumps are 3 to 4 times more efficient than a gas boiler. Simply switching to electricity is giving massive energy efficiency improvements.
I think that's why electrification is critical, because it's doing two things. Firstly, it's allowing us to use the clean, renewable technologies which generally produce electricity. And secondly, it's allowing us to provide the services that we want from energy much more efficiently. So not incrementally better, but many times better.
So if energy efficiency is this effective, why are we still wasting so much energy? It saves money, it reduces energy use and CO2 emissions. Nationally, it improves economies and makes energy more secure. And it does all this while making people healthier, more comfortable and happier. So why isn't it happening everywhere? That's what we'll be looking at in the next episode of Energy 101. What's making energy efficiency so difficult in practice?
There are some barriers to the adoption of energy efficiency that are really to do with people. There's a number of reasons, essentially in the way we organise society, that mean we don't do things optimally. We do things that are sort of good enough to get by.
Make sure you join us next time, where Professor Eyre will once again be giving his insights into the key barriers to energy efficiency.